Hi, today we're going to have a look at 2020 Ordinary Level Cash Budget, which is always question 9 on the exam paper. We're asked to prepare a cash budget for the period March to July inclusive and also a total column. Sometimes we're also asked to prepare a budgeted balance sheet, but we're not in this question. And then there's usually a small bit of theory. So we're just going to have a look at the cash budget. Okay, because we're not asked for a balance sheet, it's laid out slightly differently. If we were asked for a balance sheet, it would give us more assets and liabilities at the start. But because we're only doing the cash budget, all we need are the debtors and creditors at the start of March, bank balance at the start of March. Then it gives us sales, purchases and expenses from March to July. And then we're given some additional information in the bullet points. So to start off our cash budget, first of all, we just need to work out our receipts. And our receipts will come from our sales, and our sales are to debtors. So the first bullet point, it tells us that all sales are on credit and are paid for 2 months after the month of purchase. So all sales are on credit and are paid for 2 months after the month of purchase. So March's sales, I will receive the money 2 months later in May. So the 101,000 in March, I will receive in May. The April's sales, I will receive the money in June, so 91,100 in June. May's sales I will receive in July, so the 86,000 I will get in July. And then June's I will get in August, but I'm not asked to do August. So I'm okay now from May to July. So how do I get March and April? Well, sales are the debtors. So if I go up to my debtors here, I will see that I'm given a breakdown of the sales for January and for February. So January, because it's all sales on credit and paid for 2 months after, the January sales is what I will receive in March. So in March, I will receive January sales of 92,000. And in April, I'll receive February sales of 62,000. So now I'm just going to total those across to give me my total receipts for those 5 months. And there's no other receipts apart from sales. So I'm just going to total these now. Now on to my payments. My first payments will be purchases, and again, purchases come from creditors. Now, if I go back to my bullet point on purchases, all purchases are on credit again, except for 12,000 cash in April and are paid for 1 month after. So whatever we purchase, we pay for a month later, except for 12,000 cash, because a cash purchase you pay for straight away. So whenever I'm doing this, I would always highlight the month that the cash purchase is in and the month after, because they're the two figures that will kind of be affected. So the 12,000 cash is in April, so I'll go to April, I'd highlight April, and I'd highlight the next month, May. So my March purchases, I will pay for in April. So the March purchases of 30,100 I will pay for in April. So April is going to be 30,100. But again, there was a cash purchase in April of 12,000. Okay, so in April, I'm going to pay for my March purchases of 30,100 plus the 12,000 cash. So it's 30,100 plus 12,000. Then the next month, in May, I'm going to pay for April's purchases. So in May, I'm going to pay for April's purchases, which are 59,000 minus the 12,000 cash. So this is going to be 59,000 minus the 12,000 cash. So the 12,000 is added to the first month and taken away from the second month. Then in June, I am going to pay for May's purchases of 66,300. So back to normal now. Straightforward enough. In June, I pay for May's 66,300. Then in July, I will pay for June's purchases 1 month earlier. So in July, I'll pay for June's purchases of 62,000. And then I am not asked for the next month. If I had to do August, I would have paid for July's purchases. So where do I get my figure for the first month then? Well, because purchases are to do with creditors and the first month here is March, I can see here at the start of March, creditors, I owed 35,000 at the start of March, and I would have paid that in March, okay, because you would pay your creditors. So that 35,000, whatever the creditors figure is also going to go into my purchases here. I'll pay for that in March. And now I just add those across. The next thing I have, so that's my sales and purchase expenses. So these expenses, all expenses are paid as incurred, means they're just paid in the month that it happened. So the first month is 7,000. The next month is 12,000. 11,000 and 13,000. And the next month is 15,500. So the total expenses comes to 58,500. Equipment then. Equipment will be bought for 16,000 cash in July. So just make sure I have the correct month. 16,000 cash in July. So there's no equipment bought in any other month apart from July. It was 16,000. That's equipment. And then rent. So rent per month is 1,400 and it increases to 2,000, not by 2,000, to 2,000 in June. So it's 1,400 for March, April and May, and then June and July is 2,000. Okay, so 1,400. And then it increases to 2,000. And again, I just total those across. So to get my total payments then, I'm just going to add down the 4 different types of payments that I have: purchase expenses, equipment and rent. And I'll do that for each month. Just add down these 4 figures each month. Give me my total payments. My net cash then is A minus B. So it's just my total receipts each month minus my total payments. So the first month I plan to get receipts of 92,000 in, and I plan to have payments of 43,400, so I'm going to be up 48,600. Second month I plan to get in 62 and pay out 55,500, up 6,500. I plan to get in 101 and pay out 59,400, so up 41,600. The next month I plan to get in 91,100 and pay out 81,300, up 9,800. The next month I plan to get in 86 and pay out 95,500, so I'm down 9,500 that month. I plan to be down, and again, this is a budget. We're looking forward the whole time. So it's just the total receipts minus total payments each month. Opening cash. The opening cash is the bank balance here at the start of 15,500, because that's my opening cash at the start of March, 15,500. So that goes in the first column, and whatever it is in the first column, you always put the same figure here in the total column, and that's why they're both highlighted yellow to show that those 2 figures should be the same. And now to get my closing cash, I just add these down. If they're pluses or minuses, depending on whatever sign they are, you just add them down. So here, that's a plus 48,600 and plus 15,500. That comes to 64,100. My closing cash here will be my opening cash the next month. Again, I'm going to add these down to come to 70,600. Closing cash here will be my opening cash here. Again, I'm going to add these down. They're both positive figures and they come to 112,200. Again, closing cash this month will be my opening cash the next month. Again, I'm going to add those down, 122,000. Closing cash there will be my opening cash in the last month. And now minus 9,500 plus 122 comes to plus 112,500. Now this figure here does not go here. First of all, because there's a figure there, it can't go there. And the reason for that is because it's not the next month, it's a total column. If that was the next month, then that would be the opening cash, but it's not. It's the total column. So now we just add down these 2 figures. 97,000 and 15,500 is 112,500. And now my cash budget is balanced. These 2 figures should always be the same here. They're both in blue, the highlighted should be the same. And if you have that done, there's a fair chance that your cash budget is correct and it's balanced. So thank you for looking at the video of the 2020 ordinary level cash budget.